As sure as the seasons come, as the tides come in and they go out, the sun will rise in the morning and set in the evening. Nature works by law and it does not deviate. Mathematics, with mathematical certainty, does this world, does this universe run by laws? Gravity. It does not say, oopsie, today we're not going to have gravity and we'll all start floating. It does not change. It is changeless. It is a law. And as it works out here in the natural world, it works in here within our world. But we have control. We have the choice if we're going to work with the law, if we're going to work with the law, or if we're going to push against the law and do our own thing. And when we do our own thing, it doesn't really work out. At least that was my experience. Perhaps you can relate. We're continuing the reading of James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh. We are on chapter 2, still, Effect of Thought on Circumstances. And I'm Carla Elizondo. Welcome to Inside Talk Show, where we read books to help us live from the inside out, because life is an inside job. I'll read just a little bit today, one little paragraph. We left off yesterday with James Allen saying, a person can only begin to be a true living life and be a person until we cease to whine and revile. We just stop whining and complaining and resisting, and we begin to search for the hidden justice which regulates our life, meaning the laws of this universe. And we adapt our mind to the regulating factor. We cease to accuse others as the cause of our conditions and build ourselves up in strong and noble thoughts. We cease to kick against circumstances and begin to use them as aids to more rapid progress and a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities which lie in ourselves. Law, not confusion. Order, not chaos. Precision, not randomness, not messiness, is the dominating principle in the universe. So law, not confusion, is the dominating principle in this universe. Justice, not injustice, is the soul and substance of life. And righteousness, not corruption, is the molding and moving force in the spiritual governing of the world. This being so, man has but to right himself to find that the universe is right. And during the process of putting, I just spit. This being so, man has put to right himself. Okay, let me start that again. This being so, that universe runs by law, man has but to right himself to find that the universe is right. And during the process of putting himself right, he will find that as he alters his thoughts toward things and other people will alter towards him. Basically, when we understand that the universe does run by precise laws and that we are a part of this living universe, we are not special. We are not the exception to the rule, although I thought I was for a while, but it didn't work out. Until we alter our thoughts toward higher things, we will continue to get lower things. So when we change our thoughts toward things and other people, those things and other people will alter towards us the way we experience it. They might not change a bit, but we will perceive and we will see different things. Oh, I never noticed that before. I guess it's not that bad. If we're in a circumstance, we can always make it better, but we have to change it first. It doesn't have to change. He doesn't, she doesn't, it doesn't, that doesn't have to change before I can feel better. That's living from the outside in. That's letting outside circumstances dictate how I feel. By changing how I think, how I feel, getting involved with higher levels of thinking, focusing on positive things, or just ceasing to think at all, getting into a meditative state, listening to positive things, brainwashing yourself, pumping yourself full of good things. Remember, we're always being brainwashed. Everything that's floating into our minds, our physical apparatus, what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Remember, our 5 physical senses of this body, they're just like antenna picking up on everything around us, and it's going in. Well, depending on what we're picking up on what's going in here, it's either fresh and shiny and clean and smells delicious, or it smells and reeks and is nasty and makes us feel bad. You are not a trash receptacle. Do you feel that? Are you around people that gossip, that are pessimistic, that are negative? You do not have to put up with it. Boundaries. whether it be physical, emotional, mental. Just don't engage. It takes two. So if you've been around someone and you have been a participant in it, and they start saying, oh, yeah, Susie, blah, 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 it's like, so, oh my gosh, about that, change the subject. Change the subject. And if somebody has a problem with that, then you know they have no desire of healing or of getting higher levels of thoughts or improving their conditions or other people's. All right, I'll end there today. Actually, let's read a little bit more. Okay, so it says that until we alter this thought toward things and other people will alter toward himself. The proof of this truth is in every person, and it therefore admits of easy investigation by systematic introspection and self-analysis. Okay, so the truth that if we change the way we think and the way we interact and the way we feel, that the world will change, that proof is true in all of us, and it's therefore easy to investigate by the systematic introspection and self-analysis. So just going within. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life. Men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. Impure thoughts of every kind crystallize into enervating and confusing habits, which solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision crystallize into weak, unmanly, and irresolute habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indignance, and slavish dependence. Lazy thoughts crystallize into habits of uncleanliness and dishonesty, which solidify into circumstances of foulness and beggary. Hateful and contemptuous thoughts crystallize into habits of accusation and violence, which solidify into circumstances of injury and persecution. Selfish thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of self-seeking, which solidify into circumstances more or less distressing. On the other hand, beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindliness, which solidify into genial and sunny circumstances. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into manly habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness. Gentle and forgiving thoughts crystallize into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and preservative circumstances. Ooh, he just keeps going. Love and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others. Loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. That was good. He just laid down the law. He laid down the law. So we can't keep anything secret. We touched on this a little bit during the week. We live in an age of transparency. Think of it energetically. You cannot hide one thing. Whatever is going on within you, sure as the sun will rise in the morning, whatever you have within you, mentally, emotionally, what you're holding on to, will crystallize. It will take form and shape some way or another in your life. And if you are finding that things in your life are not up to your standards, you're not happy, you have to look within. You have to look at the source, because the source of anything out here in physical form was made by an inside, whether it be an individual or collective. Everything is first a thought. Everything is first in the unseen before it becomes created and seen or manifest, as people say. This cup, this lipstick, this pen, this book, every single thing that you look around and see right now was first an idea in someone's mind. that they got emotionally involved with, which pushed them to take action to bring it to manifested form that we can see with our eyeballs. Because whoever invented this could see it in their mind's eye. They had an idea of something that you can write on the iPad with. They had an idea. Then they continued to get emotionally involved with it. And then, oh my gosh, took plans, made blueprints, sent over the thing, worked out how it would, and then boom, I have it in my hand. Every single thing in your life, a relationship. Think about when you met your partner, if you have a partner. You saw the person, you met the person, you started getting emotionally involved, getting feels, and continued to integrate your life together. Then get married, have children. It's like, that's how things progress. That's how life happens. It's first a thought, emotion, and then an action that produces the results in our life. So again, if you aren't happy with the results in your life, rewind the tape back, tap into how you're feeling. And behind every feeling is some unconscious or conscious thought that you have on repeat in the jukebox. If it's a song, just like James Allen said, of bestial thoughts, drunkenness, confusing habits, distractions, indecision, weak, failure, indignance, dependence, slavish dependence, beggary, hatefulness, violence, accusations, it's going to crystallize into that outside. But if you have thoughts of kindliness, courage, self-reliance, decisiveness, plenty, freedom, think on these things. Doesn't it say that somewhere in the Bible? Everything that's good, beautiful, healthy, of good report, blah, 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 think on these things. So why are we thinking on other than that? Because we're addicted. We are emotionally addicted. We are dependent. You know, when somebody goes into withdrawals, if somebody's been addicted to a substance, it is very important for them to detox because they can literally die. So just like people are addicted to a substance, they take the substance, it gets a hit in their body. It fires those, neurotransmitters to get that hit, that pleasure center, the dopamine, all that stuff. And so that's how we feel with thoughts. Sometimes we're addicted to thoughts. We're addicted to our story because it makes us feel a certain way, even if it's bad. We just keep doing it over and over because most people who are addicted, like for me, I can speak for myself. I felt so bad. I felt so crappy. I felt so tired. I didn't want to keep doing that, but I was addicted. I couldn't stop. That's just like our thoughts. So find what thoughts are the little thorns, the little weed seeds that are busting up your garden, making everyone run, including yourself. Weed those out. Look at them. Do not water them. Don't entertain them. I mean, look at them and then forget about them if you don't know what they already are. Or you have, negative cognitions, automatic negative thoughts, ants. It's an acronym for automatic negative thoughts. You have a bunch of ants crawling around. Do you feel unworthy? Do you feel ugly? Do you feel stupid? Do you feel like a failure? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel shameful? Do you feel like you're never going to amount to anything? Do you feel like no one's ever going to love you? Do you feel alone? What are you entertaining in your mind? Find one thing that makes you feel good and just go from there. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll continue on Monday. I'll see you then.